We've got a new look Columbus Crew with maybe the best striker in, other than Josef, maybe the best striker in his first, month of games that we've seen ever.
Why are we putting a label on that? It's been like 3 games.
Yeah, it's been 3 games, and he's an animal. He's
and it's been 3 games. Taxi Fontas was like that good in 3 games.
Okay, Taxi Fontas was really good too. He was all right. Listen, Taxi Fontas wasn't as so good that they had to kick other people out. Cucho Hernandez came in.
I mean, he kind of was.
Shipped Miguel Berry out the door.
He kind of was. The DC just hasn't shipped them out. But does Ola Kamara even get game time anymore?
That's not the question. That's not the question.
You were talking about him coming in and knocking people out.
I was not. That is fake news.
I'm going to go, while you keep rambling on, I'm going to go look at Taxi's first couple starts for DC.
That's fine. Cucho Hernandez goes into Columbus and absolutely lights up the league. I'm watching some of his highlights here, and everybody's saying it. We said it before he even stepped on the field. This is like Josef Martinez's twin. This dude is unbelievable.
Whoa. Everybody's not saying that. I'm not saying that. There's only one Josef Martinez.
Quiet down. 4 goals in his first 90 minutes of game time. 90 minutes. He had a goal, both of his sub appearances, and then 2 in the first half. Or excuse me, let me rephrase that. He had 3 goals in 2 bench appearances and then scored in the first half of his 3rd game. 90 minutes, he's already got 4 goals. That's out of this world good.
I mean,
he's a game changer.
Not to drink the haterade, but like, look who he was playing against: Chicago, DC, Cincy.
Okay, so the teams that play against Chicago, DC, Cincy, and can't actually do anything.
What about the team? What?
You're talking about, so I hate when people are just like, oh, look at who they're playing. This is what's supposed to happen when they do that, right? This is what's supposed to happen.
Sure, but you're already comparing him to Josef, who's like one of the best strikers in this league's history. He played 3 bad teams at the start. Listen, I'm just trying to be annoying and rile you up. Like I'm totally on board the Cucho hype train. Like he's blown up, but I'm just here to try to piss you off.
Yeah, and you are definitely a hater. Like I get it. I'm gonna look here to see what Josef's first involvements were.
Taxi didn't have the goals per minute, but in Taxi's first 4 games, he had 32 minutes, 60 minutes, 78 minutes, 77 minutes, 4 goals, 1 assist. So not exactly on the level of Cucho, but at least Taxi was playing some decent teams.
To be fair to Josef had five goals in 2 games. So
yeah, well, he had I think he had a hat trick his second game against
who?
Minnesota.
Yeah, so why would we ever freak out about Josef Martinez? And then who did he get his second brace
wasn't
against?
Freaking out about him. 3 games in, being like, let me compare him to Chris Wondolowski because he's so good.
Quiet. He had a hat trick against Minnesota. He had a brace against 2017 Chicago. Okay, so 2 teams that we look at and we're like, oh wow, we can't think of anything. And he turned into the best striker in the league. 2017
Chicago finished 3rd in the Eastern Conference.
Correct, but at that point they were terrible because they were early. They were early season Chicago. They were
first of all, I was not saying anything about Josef.
No. I'm not saying you were. My point is, you can't use teams and who he scores against to not compare the 2. Right? Because if Josef can beat up on teams like that, Cucho deserves the same respect.
Cucho's played 3 games. You can't compare them.
Okay, when Josef scored 5 goals in 3 games, where Cucho now has 4 in 3 games in 90 minutes, really. At that point, he had almost 270 minutes. Everybody was talking about Josef being the real deal.
I'm not saying Cucho's not the real deal. I'm just saying
we deserve to give him that respect.
You're already comparing him to Josef. Josef's literally like Josef's already on like the all-time MLS leading scorers list. Cucho has played 90 minutes, like you said.
Okay.
The man has played 90 minutes. You're already comparing him to someone that's on the all-time scoring list.
Let me ask you then. Does, at the end of his career, does Cucho Hernandez, if he stays long-term, is he in the category of Josef Martinez?
I don't know. How can I say? He's played 3 games.
I say yes.
Well,
Bold.
for one, I
take.
don't think he's staying the whole time.
I know, he's out the door.
Yeah, 100%.
But what I really want to talk about this whole thing, we did the whole Cucho Hernandez thing last week. What I really want to talk about is the Miguel Berry transfer, right? Because we had talked about putting them up top together, right? Or, having one against the other. This move leaves the Columbus Crew without a real number 2. And that was kind of my worry when I saw that transfer, was Miguel Berry out. Next guy off the bench is Eric Hurtado, okay, and then Russell Rowe, who is a 19-year-old. My worry was, if he goes down with an injury, you're back to the Columbus Crew of old. You know what I mean?
What did they get for Barry again? What did Tommy Scoop say?
Tommy Scoop says
I see the tweet for Miguel Berry. Don't see the numbers. I could probably search it.
Sure. But anyways,
it's
right?
not public yet.
Do you think this was a good move, getting Miguel Berry out?
Oh, it was 325K in GAM.
Okay.
Guaranteed 125K. 100K in 2023, an additional 100K for incentives. So 125K guaranteed. I would say 225K guaranteed and 100K possibly. What do I think about it? Definitely risky. I'd imagine they have something in mind, unless they are putting their eggs in the Eric Hurtado basket and just kind of hoping that Cucho doesn't get hurt, and that if he does, that Hurtado can just kind of step in and fill the gap enough. I'm not surprised that they got rid of Miguel Berry, honestly. I think that I'm trying to find him on this list really quick. Is this last year? Oh, this is last year. Sorry, hold on one second. I'm trying to find his numbers for this year, because he's been very quiet. Yeah, he has not had a strong season this year, so it's not surprising to see him out. They're clearly like going all in on Cucho, and maybe Miguel Berry was taking up like a big salary for their salary cap. Maybe that's why they dumped him. It's a little surprising though that they traded Zardes, I would think, with the thought of, oh, we're gonna go all in on Miguel Berry, just for them to get Cucho, and now go, okay, we're gonna get rid of the guy we went all in on. I guess I can't imagine Eric Hurtado is their like only backup plan. I don't think it would be smart to just go all in on Cucho and just have no backup plan, because, like you said, if he gets hurt, that's troubling.
Right, and that's kind of my thought process. Is you have to assume somebody is ready to be the next guy up.
Maybe they can
or
go
they
find
have
someone.
something in the works to bring in, right?
Yeah.
And that doesn't need to be another game changer, right? It can very, very easily be a, not even a TAM level signing, just a free transfer out of,
Could literally be like a Kai Kamara.
Could be a Kai Kamara, right? A better, Eric Hurtado is kind of the Kai Kamara, 31 years, been in the league for a while, knows the game. Wouldn't be shocked to see a few more slide in there. Yeah, I do think it's a little bit more on the risky side.
I think they got something else in mind. I don't think this is like, oh, we're just trading all our strikers and just going all in with Cucho.
Yeah, no, there's got to be something in the back of the works, but what that is still to be seen. And I haven't heard any rumors about it, but it's a very, very interesting situation because he is so good, right? Cucho is fantastic. There is no question about it. Obviously, we've seen the numbers, but Columbus also have a terrible history of injuries to very important players. So where does that leave you, right? What does that leave you with, and how are you going to combat that? And that is the situation they need to figure out.
Yeah, no disagreements there.
My final question for you.
Yes.
We've seen what a very important mid-season transfer can do for teams. Seattle Sounders, with Nico Lodeiro being the best example. How far do the Columbus
Second place in the
Crew,
Eastern Conference.
how far do they go in, assuming they make the playoffs, how far do they go?
They're gonna go far. They're gonna go far. I mean, there's a reason I put this team second, and that was before they had gotten Cucho, because this team is super talented. They just have to stay healthy, which is obviously a big issue with this team. But if they are healthy, like I think they have been getting more healthy lately. This team is super good, and it shows because they are on currently at least 6 games unbeaten. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games unbeaten right now. So this team is going to be tough to beat. I think, honestly, maybe this is a bold statement. I would say them or NYC have got the strongest, most deadly team in the Eastern Conference right now. And I think with Tati leaving, I think they have the best team in the Eastern Conference right now. Do I think that means they'll win MLS Cup? No, because MLS playoffs are always a guessing game. And
Which
injuries.
is why they're not the most important cup in America. But go on.
It is the most important cup, at least until Atlanta wins a Supporter Shield. I really can't make a prediction on the playoffs. Honestly, it's too hard. It's so unpredictable. But I will say that I think that they're going to climb up the Eastern Conference very quickly.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you there. I don't think there are many teams that have the center back ability to contain somebody like Cucho.
Plus, you have Zelarayan, who's literally MVP level.
Yeah, feeding him day after day after day.
Yeah, and Derek Etienne, who's improved drastically this year. Like this team, and Pedro Santos. I mean, this team is deadly. Darlington Nagby, like, come on.
I'm gonna make a very bold prediction here.
Are you about to tell me they're not making the playoffs? Because I will end the podcast right now.
The opposite.
Okay.
This move is on the same level as Nico Lodeiro. This move, assuming everybody stays healthy, gets them to, if not wins them, MLS Cup. The impact that an attacking player of this level and quality has on a team that is already surging in the right direction. You talked about 8 games unbeaten, right? Well, he's only been here 3. So now you take a team that's already getting into form, add one of the greatest strikers in the league already. I mean, just based off of pure performance over the last 3 games.
Let's just say hottest.
Assuming. No, the best. We're not mincing terms here.
I hate you. I made you lose your train of thought, and I'm very happy about that.
You're putting this team on a path to nothing but success, assuming everybody stays healthy. I'm going to say MLS Cup. That's what I'm going to say.
It's a big if, though. This team is so volatile with injuries, and the fact that they've had so many already. I mean, you could speak to it a bit more than I can in terms of like sports injuries, but I think usually once you injure something once, you're more susceptible to injuries again. So that's a concern for me in terms of, if you're just talking talent, I don't disagree with you. Although I will say LAFC certainly want a word with that in terms of talent, but they're a little too unpredictable for me to say that they win cup.
I think you're a hater, but that's for lots of other reasons.
You call it how you see it.